In this tutorial, we will learn about Laravel Sanctum. So Laravel Sanctum is a package that can be used for authenticating single-page applications, mobile applications, and token-based third-party API calls. Okay. So to learn about this package, first you need a Laravel installation. So if you don't have an installation already, then you need to create it. So I am already inside my document roots d jamp htdocs. Your document root can be different. So I will write composer create project Laravel Laravel Sanctum X. Okay. So Laravel will be created inside the Sanctum folder. Let us wait a bit. It takes a little bit of time. Okay, so Laravel is installed on my machine. So first thing what will I will do is I will go to Visual Studio Code. By the way, Visual Studio Code is a code editor. If you don't have it, you can go to Google, search for Visual Studio Code and download it and run the installer and open the page. You will get a window like this. Okay. You can use any other editor you want, but I use Visual Studio Code because it is easy to use and helps me to write code very in a very neat and clean way with lots of tools available. Okay. So go to File, open folder, select the folder. So the folder is open in Visual Studio Code. The first thing that I will do is I will go to environment file and I will change the name to Sanctum XDB. Okay, fine. And default Laravel installation nowadays comes with some migration files. So to see the migration files, go to migrations. You can see here users table, password users table, fail jobs table, and personal access. So what we will do first, we will first we will run the migrations. So it is asking me to create Sanctum XDB because the database is not existing, so I will accept it. Fine. So the four tables are created. Let me check. I go to phpMyAdmin and this is the database and the four files are created. Okay, fine. So next what you need to do, we need to install the Laravel Sanctum package. Okay, so for that what you will do, you can write it here also or you can go here also. You need to move into the folder here. Fine. So the first thing you need to do here is you need to run the command composer require Laravel Sanctum. So I will paste the command. Fine. Then we need to publish the vendor files, the Sanctum files. So I will do that also. PHP artisan vendor publish provider is Laravel Sanctum, Sanctum service provider. Okay, you have to run this command. So it will copy the configuration files to this directory. Sanctum config sanctum.php. It already exists because nowadays the default Laravel instruction comes with Sanctum, so you actually can start to use it right away. But I'm showing you here the steps. If these are not present, you can run it like this. Okay. So first you have run composer install, composer require Laravel Sanctum, then you publish the files like this. Okay, the configuration files. Next you run the migration again. It is showing nothing to migrate because the personal access token table, let me show you this table, personal access tokens. This is actually used to keep tokens created by Sanctum package. Okay, and since Sanctum comes by default, so it is already created, so nothing is being created, but these are the steps actually. Then one more thing you can do is you can go to app http kernel.php. Okay, let me go to that file, app http and kernel.php. Then scroll down and move to the API section and uncomment this Sanctum package middleware. Okay, ensure front-end requests are stateful. This is a class of this package Sanctum. Fine. So after this we need to Sanctum is installed now. After this what we need to do is we need to go back to database, then migrate seeders and database seeder. Okay, and we need to uncomment this app models user factory create. This code is placed here by default in all new Laravel installations. If it is not there, you need to create it first. So I will change the, as I told you, this can be created manually also. Then password, password is suppose. Fine. So we have three fields here: name, email, and password. Let us go to the default model class of user. As you can see, this default model class already uses Laravel Sanctum has API token straight. This model should use this trait like this, otherwise the Sanctum will not work. And it has three fields: name, email, and password, which are fillable already. So we don't have to change anything here. We need to come back. So name, email, and password all are given. Then we will go here and then we will run, and then we will run PHP sun. So the database is seeded with the user. Let us check users. Yes, one user is created. Fine. Now next we will go to routes and we will go to API because we want to secure the API routes, and it is already given here auth sanctum means sanctum is protecting this route get user. Okay, so this resource is accessed through Sanctum and you need to give something to the calling party. Let us first do what? Let us just try to. So Postman is open now. Then we will go to new. We will make an HTTP request. and the request URL is http localhost. This is the name of my Laravel folder. Then we need to write public because we have not changed the URL structure yet, so we have to give public, then API, then user. Okay, so this route is protected by Sanctum. So if we try to access it, we will get an error message, route login not defined and something like that, because we have not given the system anything to get by, anything to use. The Sanctum package is not getting the required token here, so it is not allowing us to access this resource. So what we will do, first we will go to this file, the routes file, and we will write a route here. Then we will write get login function. Okay, so we have defined a function, we have defined a login route which is controlled by the which is controlled by a function, anonymous function. And let us put a request here. Fine. So this route can be accessed by any third party without any middleware. Okay, so what we will do, we will write some login code here. So we will put auth attempt, we will provide the email and password also. So we are making an attempt to log in using these credentials. So if the credential fails, then we will show an error message. But these credentials are already present. The default user has this email testexample.com and password as password. Okay. By the way, we made a mistake here, I think. Yeah, we made a mistake. We need to create a new user with mm, demo. We will name it site admin, and the password has to be with hash. Okay. Hash will create a encrypted password out of this plain text. Okay, so we are using hash, so we need to import it, we need to use it here. Fine, and then we need to run fine. So the second user is created. Let us check it. Users, yes, it is accepting a encrypted password created by hash. So let us use this user demoexample.com. So let us go to API and we will use demoexample.com, and password is password. Fine. So this login attempt will succeed, so this block of code will not be executed. So once the login is complete, what we will do, we will return the token like this. Okay, and we need to give it a name also. This name can be anything. So what this line does is, it takes the authenticated user, then using the user it creates a token, and it returns the plain text version of the token to the calling party. Okay, this user is already authenticated with this auth attempt. Since this already exists, the user will log in, then we get this user, then it creates a token. This create token function is made available from the Sanctum package. Okay, so we have to send back the user some kind of authentication. Fine. So if we wanted, we could create a elaborate login system also, but since this is about Sanctum only, so I will not create login system separately. I'm just hard coding it into the files directly. Okay, so this attempt email demoexample.com password is there. So the author will log in, it will reach this line, it will create the token using the Sanctum create token function, and it will return the plain text token. Fine. So let us call this URL again. We will need to use login, API login, and let us make the request. Yes, as you can see, we have got a plain text token here. Okay, this is created by this function, plain text token, create token, plain text function. So after the user logs in, the user creates a token and returns back the token to the calling party. So we can use this token for subsequent calls to the system. Okay, let us copy this and let us make a new request. So fine, the API user route that we defined previously, this route, let us try to access it again, but this time we will send a bearer token. So we will go to authorization, and then we will go to bearer token, and we will write the copy paste the name of the token here. Okay, and we will check the URL again. Fine, this time we are getting the user values from the database. Okay, so this is how we create Sanctum to access resources from a system using a token. Okay, so in this example we used login to create an user token, but this user token can be created during user registration also. You have to send back the plain text token immediately after the user is created. Okay, all these tokens that are created are stored in the personal access file, personal access tokens file. Let us see. As you can see, this personal access token files has a token that we created earlier. So any subsequent tokens that we create can be accessed from this table. Okay. So we can have a separate system where we will create new tokens and then distribute the tokens to the user. So in all, we need a token to access resource on a database which is accessible from this table, and the tokens are created during login or during registration also.